Dear Libra soul, what if the man you trust the most is slowly pulling you away from your peace and you don't even realize it yet? This isn't just a question. It's the very reason the universe placed this message in front of you today. You didn't click on this video by accident. You were guided here through a web of quiet whispers, subtle signs, and divine timing to receive something that could truly change how you move forward from this moment on. Because between November 23rd and the end of this month, an energetic shift is unfolding. One that involves a particular man whose presence in your life may seem harmless. But in truth, his energy carries the potential to disturb the very balance you work so hard to protect. Libra, you are the sacred keeper of harmony. You seek beauty, fairness, and soulful connection in everything you do. But your desire to maintain peace sometimes makes you overlook the early warning signs, those faint ripples in your intuition, the tension you carry in your chest after a conversation, the small voice inside you asking, "Why do I feel so off after being around him?" This video is here to shine a light into that fog. To remind you that spiritual attacks don't always come in the form of chaos, they often come in the form of charm. And sometimes, the most dangerous disruption to your soul isn't a storm, it's the quiet hand that slowly pushes your inner compass off course. From an astrological perspective, Mars squaring your Libra sun during this transit activates your sacred responsibility to defend your peace, even if it means disrupting a false harmony. And through the cards we'll explore today, especially the Moon, Justice reversed, and the Five of Swords, we will decode the deeper spiritual message behind the person who may be disturbing your emotional stability. As we journey together in this reading, I invite you to become aware of anyone who makes you feel like you need to apologize for being yourself. For being sensitive, thoughtful, deliberate. Anyone who suggests your grace is weakness. Anyone who wants you to move faster than your spirit is ready to move. Libra, your balance is not a flaw. It is your divine assignment. Let me take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every time you like, comment, or subscribe to this channel, you are helping us send these healing messages to souls who truly need them. Your support doesn't just grow this space, it expands the light. Now I ask you, what was happening in your energy, your thoughts, or your heart that brought you here today? Please share in the comments and confirm this divine alignment. Let me know you hear this message. Let me know the signs are showing up for you. If you've been seeing the number 888, I invite you to comment it below as a sacred confirmation that your balance, your abundance, and your protection are aligning in this exact moment. And I promise you this, stay with me until the very end of this reading, because what the universe is about to reveal about this man, your truth, and your power, is nothing short of transformational. Let's begin. There's a subtle moment, often so quiet you almost miss it, when your spirit starts to question itself. When the gentle peace you've worked so hard to preserve begins to feel like a burden instead of a blessing. That moment, Libra, is what this energy is about. It sneaks in through words that appear kind, feedback that sounds like support, and relationships that promise safety. Until they don't. You see, you don't lose your balance all at once. You give away small pieces of it, one by one, each time you smile through discomfort, nod when your intuition says no, or let someone else define your pace. And because you, Libra, are built for peace, not silence, it's vital that you learn to recognize when peace has been replaced by quiet submission. What makes this so dangerous is that the imbalance doesn't come as a loud crash. It comes as a suggestion. A tone. A pattern of being misunderstood just enough that you begin to over-explain, overcompensate, and eventually, overgive. This is not about one bad person, but about an energetic dynamic that you, as a soul born under Libra's scales, are especially sensitive to. The tarot card that arises here, the Moon, is not a card of deception in the external world. Allanite also reflects emotional distortion within. It asks you, what is being clouded by fear? What is being projected onto you by others? What false image are you being asked to step into, just to be more acceptable or easier to love? The Moon's light is not direct. It bends and reflects, creating shadows where none exist and hiding wounds beneath illusions. In this case, the illusion might be that someone cares for you because they want to change you. But real care doesn't seek to mold you, it seeks to witness you. When someone tells you you're too soft, too indecisive, too thoughtful, pause. Ask yourself, are they truly helping you grow? Or are they revealing their discomfort with your calm? Often, people who live in internal chaos feel disoriented by the serenity you carry. Rather than doing the work to find their own stillness, they may unconsciously try to disrupt yours. It's not personal. But it does become dangerous when you allow their storm to invade your temple. This is where your deeper work begins. Not by pushing them away, but by drawing yourself inward. By returning to your center without apology. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that's easier for them to manage. You are allowed to be gentle and powerful, loving and firm, open-hearted and protected all at the same time. And in moments when it feels hard to hold on to your truth, remember, your steadiness is sacred. You don't have to raise your voice to be heard by the right people. You don't have to shrink to be kept. You were created to reflect divine order, not to absorb disarray. When life becomes noisy, one of the most radical things you can do is return to simplicity. Quiet your world long enough to hear what your soul is whispering. Sometimes, the clarity you need doesn't come through effort, but through stillness. That is the essence of divine timing. And while we may not all speak the language of faith the same way, there's something undeniable about those moments when protection comes from places you didn't expect. A canceled plan that saved you. A delay that redirected your life. A silence that turned out to be mercy. These, too, are miracles in motion. You don't need to chase answers right now. You just need to reclaim your balance, one clear boundary, one aligned decision, one deep breath at a time. And if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Stay with me, Libra. What we're about to uncover next will empower you to see with new eyes. Sometimes the most difficult truth to face is the one that whispers instead of shouts, the truth that asks if the peace you're protecting is actually costing you your own alignment. When the Justice card appears reversed in a reading, especially for a Libra, it doesn't just point to unfairness in the outside world. It signals a distortion of your inner compass. And this distortion often doesn't come from loud betrayal or obvious conflict. It arrives softly, disguised as compromise, as love, as support. You begin making small shifts, a word unsaid here, a preference suppressed there. You choose silence over speaking up, not because you don't have a voice but because your voice has been slowly taught that it's too much, too inconvenient, or too dramatic. And because you, dear Libra, are wired for balance, you will always seek the middle ground even when it means losing sight of your own center. This is where imbalance becomes dangerous. Not because you are weak, but because your strength is quiet. And quiet strength, when misunderstood, is often mistaken for permission. You start adjusting yourself to keep the peace, but the peace you're keeping isn't real, it's strategic. And over time, the relationship that promised safety becomes a place where you are no longer fully seen. This doesn't always come from someone with bad intentions. In fact, it rarely does. The man whose energy is influencing you right now may genuinely believe he is helping you grow. He may be offering advice, encouragement, or challenges to push you beyond what he believes are your limits. But true encouragement doesn't require you to erase who you are. When someone asks you to stretch, it should feel like expansion, not erosion. There's a subtle but essential difference between someone who sees your strength and wants to nurture it and someone who sees your strength and feels the need to reshape it into something more familiar, more comfortable, more controllable. The danger is not always in obvious control or manipulation. Sometimes, it comes cloaked in affection, in charisma, in carefully worded praise followed by subtle critiques. And so, you slowly shift until the person you are today is only a shadow of who you were before he arrived. Ask yourself gently, with honesty, do I feel more myself around him, or less? Do I leave his presence feeling expanded or quietly diminished? Do I feel spiritually nourished, or emotionally off-center? The most beautiful thing about divine balance is that it doesn't require external validation. And in the same way that spiritual truths are often confirmed by inner peace, energetic truth is often revealed by discomfort. You don't need to be in chaos to know something is wrong. You only need to notice how much of yourself you are hiding to be acceptable. This is the moment where you begin to take inventory not of what others have done, but of how your soul has been quietly calling you back to your own sense of truth. And perhaps, in your busy life, you've grown used to ignoring that whisper. But the whisper is persistent. And sometimes, divine protection doesn't show up as miracles or dramatic signs. It shows up as discomfort that refuses to go away. It shows up as tension in your chest, or unease after a conversation that looks fine on the surface. If that's what you've been feeling, don't dismiss it. The gift of this moment is not in blaming anyone else, but in returning to yourself. God often guides us not through grand announcements, but through redirections. And every time you choose honesty over performance, clarity over confusion, and your own rhythm over pressure, you align yourself with that guidance. The more you choose your truth, the less permission others will have to distort it. And that, Libra, is how justice begins to return. Quietly. Boldly. From within. And then comes the part where you notice something shifting not outside, but deep within. A subtle disconnect that tells you you're no longer making decisions from your own center, but from a place of pressure, confusion, or fear. For Libra, whose essence is to weigh truth and move through life with beauty and clarity, this quiet misalignment can be more dangerous than any loud disruption. It creeps in when your energy is pulled so gently out of balance that you don't realize what you've lost until you feel far from yourself. One of the clearest signs that your energetic field is being compromised is when you start to reshape your identity for someone else's comfort. You become quieter not because you're at peace, but because you're trying not to provoke. You nod in agreement not because you agree, but because you're afraid disagreement might risk connection. And over time, this emotional contortion wears away at your inner light, until you start to believe that shrinking yourself is necessary for love. The Five of Swords speaks precisely to this dynamic. It's not a battle fought with fists or fire. It's a psychological negotiation where you lose even when you think you're preserving harmony. It's the kind of conflict where you agree just to avoid the tension, only to find yourself drained and disoriented later. What makes this card so significant for Libra is that it unveils the trap hidden inside false peace, the illusion that silence means safety, and that compromise means connection. The truth is, when you feel the need to become someone else just to be accepted, you're not in a connection, you're in a performance. And your energy knows it. That's why clarity begins when you stop looking outward for confirmation and start tuning inward for honesty. One of the simplest and most powerful tools you can use is emotional journaling. Not the kind where you analyze or judge yourself, but the kind where you gently ask, how did that conversation make me feel? Did I feel empowered? Or did I leave feeling small? Boundaries don't have to be loud to be effective. Sometimes the most transformative boundary is the quiet shift in energy that happens when you stop explaining yourself and start honoring what you already know. You don't have to announce it. You just have to live it. And each time you do, your spirit remembers what it feels like to stand in its truth without apology. This is where daily affirmations become more than words. They become soul reinforcements. Saying something as simple as, I am not here to please, I am here to be, helps your nervous system recalibrate from survival mode to self-trust. These small rituals restore your sovereignty, one breath, one decision, one moment at a time. Color, too, plays a role in this healing process. Libra energy responds beautifully to soft, supportive hues that remind the body of peace: emerald green to restore vitality, blue to calm the mind, and rose tones to open the heart without overextending it. Likewise, supporting your body with foods that ground your energy like leafy greens, herbal teas, or even just warm meals prepared with presence can quietly but powerfully remind your spirit that it is safe to return home to itself. Even in a world that constantly asks you to bend, you get to be the one who chooses where and how you move. This isn't about cutting people off or living in isolation. It's about noticing where your peace leaks and learning how to seal those cracks with love and awareness. You don't have to wait for a big sign. Sometimes, the most divine intervention is your own decision to listen, to rest, to return, and to reclaim your energy before anyone else uses it for their agenda. And that choice, Libra, is more than healing. It's holy. When the sky begins to stir, Libra, your inner landscape responds with equal sensitivity. You're not just ruled by Venus, you're governed by balance, and when the heavens shift, your entire being feels it. As November draws to a close, you are walking through a corridor of cosmic pressure, one that challenges your instinct for peace, clarity, and grounded beauty. But don't mistake this tension for a breakdown. What you're experiencing is a breakthrough in disguise. With Mars squaring the Sun in Libra, the universe isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to awaken you. This aspect stirs a fire within, urging you to act, to speak, to move, and yet at the same time, it can pull you into confrontation, impulsiveness, or internal resistance. You may feel torn between maintaining external harmony and honoring your internal unrest. But that's the point. Mars doesn't want you to ignore your discomfort. It wants you to investigate it. To become aware of what is triggering the inner conflict. Are you living in alignment with your truth, or are you walking on eggshells, afraid that peace will shatter if you choose yourself? During this same period, Mercury in retrograde weaves an additional layer of complexity. Communication becomes fragile. Assumptions run high. Messages are misread, and the lines between truth and illusion blur. For someone like you, who thrives on clarity and thoughtful dialogue, this can be especially disorienting. The trick is not to silence yourself but to slow down. Read between the words. Listen for tone. Watch how people respond when you say, "No, this retrograde doesn't just distort conversations, it exposes who's been hiding behind polished words and practiced charm." Manipulators flourish in the fog. But so does revelation. In numerology, the repeated emergence of the number 5 throughout this phase is no coincidence. 5 is the number of divine change. It breaks the routine. It stirs the waters. It shows up when the soul is ready to evolve, even if the ego isn't. You may see it in timestamps, receipts, phone numbers, or randomly throughout your day, but it's not random at all. The appearance of 5 signals a shift, a disruption meant to push you from stagnation into a more authentic rhythm. And for Libra, whose energy often leans toward preservation, this number serves as a gentle but undeniable reminder that you're not here to keep things looking perfect. You're here to make things feel true. Pay close attention to the days around the 23rd, 25th, and 29th. These are pressure points in the cosmic landscape, moments when emotions may swell, decisions may surface, and your clarity will be tested. You may feel the urge to act quickly, to settle something prematurely, or to smooth over a conflict just to avoid discomfort. But this is not a time for quick fixes. It's a time for sacred pause. If it feels rushed, heavy, or unclear, don't decide yet. What is meant for you won't require urgency to claim. You'll know by the way your body softens in its presence. And in those moments when the noise of others drowns out your own wisdom, gently return to the place within you that knows. Sometimes, that's all faith is, remembering what you already know when everything outside you is trying to make you forget. Even if you don't speak the language of the sacred every day, grace often finds you in unexpected ways. A delay that kept you safe. A conversation that opened your eyes. A moment of silence that offered more answers than hours of noise ever could. You don't have to control the chaos, Libra. You only need to hold your ground within it. The stars are shifting, the numbers are speaking, and the energy is asking, will you trust what you feel more than what you're told? Because your balance, your clarity, and your peace theory not being taken from you. They're being returned to you, the moment you decide they're worth protecting. What begins as a whisper inside often becomes a revelation, not because the world changes, but because your awareness sharpens. For you, Libra, this moment is not about discovering something new, it's about finally acknowledging something you've sensed all along. The truth that's rising now isn't loud or dramatic. It's sacred. And like many sacred things, it asks to be seen with calm eyes and an open heart. That stirring in your spirit, the tension you've tried to ignore, the lingering discomfort after certain conversations, these are not accidents. They are signals. You've spent so much of your life trying to create balance around you that, at times, you've sacrificed the balance within you. And now, the universe is gently but firmly asking you to reverse that pattern. It's asking you to recognize the truth that lives in your soul, even if it threatens the illusion of peace in your outer world. The man you're being cautioned about may not be overtly harmful. He may even think he's helping. But influence doesn't always come from control, it often comes from subtle energy. From the words that make you second-guess your nature. from the praise that comes with quiet correction, from the looks, the tones, the moments that lead you to believe that being soft, intuitive, or emotionally deep is somehow too much. But here's the truth: your emotional intelligence is not a flaw. It's not an overreaction. It's your compass. It's the divine intelligence that helps you move through this world with empathy and grace. And anyone who tries to dull that compass, whether intentionally or unconsciously, is not someone you need to explain yourself to. You were born to bring harmony, yes, but not at the cost of your soul's clarity. If someone consistently causes you to question your worth, your instincts, or your emotional depth, it's not a reflection of your lack. It's a reflection of their discomfort with truth. Not everyone is ready to meet someone who sees through the noise. And that's okay. But your responsibility is not to lower your light to make others feel comfortable. Your responsibility is to stand in it fully. Sometimes, the most powerful boundary you can set is the one that requires no words. Just distance. Just quiet. Just a refusal to keep participating in dynamics that diminish you. This is not rejection, it's realignment. And every time you choose realignment over reactivity, you take your power back. In the same way that physical storms clear the air, spiritual storms often clear perception. What once felt foggy becomes obvious. What you once tolerated becomes intolerable. And what once seemed blurry becomes crystal clear. That clarity is a gift, even if it stings at first. There are moments in life when divine timing reveals itself not through a voice from the sky, but through stillness. Through that one moment you wake up and feel different. Lighter. Stronger. More awake. That's not random, that's grace unfolding in real time. That's the miracle. So ask yourself this, gently and truthfully: who benefits when you ignore what you feel? And what becomes possible when you stop doing that? This truth, this soft yet undeniable truth, has waited long enough for you to meet it. And now that you have, Libra, don't turn away. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't need consensus to honor what your spirit already knows. You only need courage. And just a little bit of faith that you're not losing anything by walking away from what feels wrong, returning to everything that is right for you. If you've made it this far, Libra, take a breath and know that it means something. You didn't just listen to a reading. You journeyed through a map of your own emotional and spiritual landscape, and that's not easy work. That's brave work. And I want you to remember something so simple, so powerful, and so often forgotten: you were never meant to suffer in silence just to keep things from falling apart. Your mission has never been to absorb the discomfort of others so they don't have to face themselves. You were created to radiate harmony from the inside out, not to be the quiet keeper of peace built on your own self-abandonment. The choice to reclaim your balance, your clarity, and your peace is not a one-time event, it's a daily devotion. It begins with asking yourself honest questions: who gets access to my energy? Who respects my softness without trying to harden it? Who hears my no without needing an explanation? And most importantly, how often am I choosing myself even when it's uncomfortable? These aren't easy questions, but they are necessary. Because from this moment forward, you have permission to rebuild your space from truth. You can reselect who walks beside you. You can decide which beliefs about love, loyalty, and worthiness no longer belong in your sacred space. You don't need anyone's approval to protect your peace. You don't need outside validation to honor your inner knowing. What you need is the courage to believe that your intuition is not a weakness, it's your compass. And it's been guiding you here all along. I want you to carry this forward not just as insight, but as practice. Say the affirmations out loud. Set the boundaries that feel overdue. Take a moment each morning to return to yourself before the world tries to pull you away. Make your well-being a non-negotiable. Because the people who are meant for you will never ask you to shrink. They will celebrate your strength without needing to reshape it. And now, I invite you to engage with this moment, this space, this energy we've created together. If this reading spoke to you, if it stirred something deep or reminded you of what you've always known, leave a comment below and write the words, I choose peace. I choose truth. Let that be your personal declaration to the universe that you are no longer dimming your light for anyone's comfort. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And your peace is sacred. If this message helped you today, please like the video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with someone who may need this frequency of healing and awareness. Every single engagement helps expand this ripple of truth to others in our Libra community who may be silently facing the same inner battles. Thank you truly for your time, your energy, and your presence. You are not alone in this. The universe, your higher self, and this beautiful soul-led community at Zodiac Whisper Tarot are walking with you. You are supported, seen, and guided. And as you continue to step more fully into your truth, watch how the people, opportunities, and miracles begin to align, not because you forced anything but because you finally allowed yourself to stop betraying your own light. Until we meet again, keep choosing you. Because you, dear Libra, are worth it.